Welcome to another episode coming at you from ChooseYourRelationships.com, author of Love Can't Wait, which can be found on Amazon.com. And I got my man in the house, Knowledge.
Knowledge, baby.
And in this video, man, I wanted to talk about how life's a game, so you're going to either play or be played, you know?
Mm.
And, regardless of where you're at in life, regardless of what you're trying to do in life, you really have, some people say, hey, man, we in the Matrix, man. We in something. It's a little bit more than the Matrix, but regardless of what you want to call it, you can either find a way to play the game the way you want, to play the game, or you can create an environment. And when I say environment, I mean like 2 to 5 people, maybe more. Create an environment where you don't have to be so dependent on what happens in the Matrix, and you can become the game. You know what I'm saying?
Oh yeah, no, definitely. I definitely hear what you're saying, and that's another thing. A lot of people, I feel like, they get played in life. You know what I'm saying? They don't really, they don't take the initiative to try to, start something up with, either friends, family, or whoever. Try to build something. You know what I'm saying? So you know what I'm saying. They can play their own game. You know what I'm saying? They're more used to being told what to do and playing somebody else's game. So a lot of people, like, when you tell them, like, yo, you either play or be played, you know what I'm saying? It doesn't really register to them because they've never really started their own game. You know what I mean? They're just used to being played.
I think a lot of people gave up, man. That's what I think.
Yeah, that's
I
it.
think a lot of people see it as the odds is against me, so I'm doomed to fail anyway. So
Mm.
they just gave up. They surrendered.
Yeah. And
I think some people think like that.
yeah, no, you definitely.
Some people think like, man, it ain't no hope, man. Regardless of what I do, it ain't gonna work anyway. So I'll just I'll just become a bed wench.
Yo, but you're not lying though, man. You're not lying. The drive's not there. You know what I'm saying? Like the drive's not there with a lot of people. A lot of people just go with the flow. No one. I just a lot of people don't think outside the box. Like you said, they go with the status quo. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So their mentality isn't to try to be different. It's sort of just to blend in.
Yeah, but here's the thing with the blending in thing and trying to fit in thing. Look, you weren't put here to fit in. That's the thing.
Mm-hmm.
You don't have to try and fit in. That's the thing. You're never going to fit in. I mean, yeah, you might have a lot of similarities. You might be able to relate to some people, but you're never going to really fit in. Look, if you got
Yeah.
to leave your house and go on another environment, there's a 97% chance you're not going to be the perfect fit.
Mm. That's true. That's true.
Yeah.
What?
So, I mean, this is why I don't understand why some people, their step, first instinct is just to, hey, I got to mingle with a couple people at the job to see if I fit in. I'm like, yo, you kind of jumping the gun, yo. I
Yeah.
mean, you haven't even got inside yet. I
That's
mean,
how most people are, though.
yeah,
Most people they're so worried about fitting in, being accepted. I should say they're so worried about being accepted and don't want to stick out. And it's crazy because if you notice, some of the most successful people in life, they're not the average person because you wouldn't be. If you're the average person, they wouldn't be where they are today. So that's why I always, tell myself like, why do I want to be like everybody else? You know what I'm saying? So
Exactly. And you have to realize that if I created this company and you're working in my company, the only way you're going to shine or get the accolades or awards or whatever, only way you're going to shine or get any of that stuff is if I allow it to happen, if it's my
yeah.
company.
Hmm.
So this is why a lot of people, I hear a lot of people, they get upset when they don't get the job, when they don't get the promotion. I'm like, look, it's not your company.
Exactly. Exactly.
If you want all of that, what you just said, you want to be the top guy in the company. If you strive to get it and you can't, you haven't hit the mark in 10, 20 years, however long you've been working for that company.
Hmm.
And if you feel like you're being mistreated, treated unfair, and all that stuff people talk about when they're complaining, if that's the case, well, maybe you need to go out on your own, do your own thing.
Yeah. No, you're 100% right. And
Yeah,
people that sit here and want promotions and things, the thing is like to get a promotion, you need to stand out amongst the other people. Like, you know what I'm saying? You have to show them why you
yeah,
deserve that promotion.
that's
You
a
know what I mean?
lot of people.
Yeah.
My goodness.
Mhm. I'm
You
saying, man.
know, I mean, of course, a lot of people have a sense of entitlement, no doubt about it. There's always going to be some people like that because you know, but I didn't start I didn't really get this whole concept until I really started to see things for the way it is out here, not the way I
Mhm.
wanted it to be, or not the way somebody else told me. When I started to
Right.
see things for what it is, that's when I was like, okay, that's how it is. I got to do this. I'm gonna take
Mm.
I'm gonna I'm gonna take the back door approach because everybody
Yeah.
else going through the front door, so I'm gonna go through the back. You know what I'm saying? So
Oh
you
yeah.
know, and see, a lot of people have a hard time accepting things from for what it is because sometimes it can be very uncomfortable.
Oh yeah. No, definitely. A lot of people they run from the truth because people do that their whole life. They run from the truth because at the end of the day, they don't want to face the realities. They want to live in a fantasy world, and that's very common amongst the everyday person that you meet. You know what I
Yeah.
mean? A lot of people is living a lie.
The only problem, another problem, the biggest problem with seeing things the way you want it, and also kind of acting like things don't exist. The only problem with that is what happens when you get in some legal problems.
True, you're screwed.
Yeah. See, see, a lot of people walk around around America and act like, hey, it's not like that. You know,
Mm.
okay, you keep thinking that way. Wait till you run into that crazy cop one day. You're gonna find out real quick that something else is going on out here.
No joke, man. Reality hits you quick.
Yeah, get your wake up call, buddy.
Yeah. Oh
and that,
man.
and that's what usually happens to a lot of people. They end up. Some of them end up in jail. Some of them end up going to jail, and that's when or something tragic happens, and that's
Hmm.
when they kind of get their wake up call. And I'll be like, hey man, I tried to tell you. You just,
Yeah.
I don't know.
Can't, but you can't wait that long to get, and that's the thing. Like a lot of people, they don't learn until it happens. Like, you know what I mean? You don't want to wait for it to happen to be like, oh, all right, now I see what he's talking about. You want to try to foresee things like that. You know what I'm saying? So you can just go further in life and avoid all that altogether. But
Yeah, you
unfortunately,
never want to
yeah,
get caught off guard. Try not to anyway. I mean, like I'm like never caught off guard. Not
yeah,
anymore. Like in my 20s, yeah, of course, because I just didn't know. I mean, if you don't know what you don't know. But once you know better, I'm never caught off guard. I never get in my car and be thinking like, hey man, it's gonna be a perfect trip to the store today.
yeah.
What?
All right.
All these crazy people on the highway? Are you crazy?
Mhm.
You just never know what could happen if you get in your car and drive down the street. You just never
Yeah.
know. You can pray for a happy trip to the store and back. Yeah,
Hmm.
but you just never know. All you can do is your best
Yeah.
when you're
That's
driving.
you
You
can't.
know what I'm saying?
Yeah, you can't have that one track mindset. You know what I'm saying? You gotta look at the picture for what it is. You never know what's gonna happen. You know what I'm saying? Like, you could meet somebody one day and the next day never see him again. You know what I'm saying? That's why it's just like you got to think outside that box, and
Yeah, that's why a lot of guys get caught off guard with women because they'll date the girl. They see the girl the way they see her. They see her like she's a princess. I'm like, what?
mm,
What are you talking about? Ain't nobody ain't no woman no princess. It ain't never been like that. So
yeah,
they see the woman the way they want to see her, right?
hmm,
First thing she does that he doesn't like, he flips the hell out, boy. You know.
man.
That's when all the name calling come out. You bitch, you whore, you.
That's when the I love you babies, all that's out the window, man.
Yeah, and this happens on even both ways, males and females. This could happen.
Exactly.
It's like 1 minute you go from the hero to the zero.
Exactly. Or you know what, too, Shark Game. You ever have a friend like he's got like a bad chick or whatever, and she's just treating him like shit, putting him through hell, and you telling him like, yo man, look how this girl's treating you. This isn't you, but they refuse to believe it. And then finally when it all ends, they're like, yeah, you were right. You know what I mean? Like after all the money and everything's all spent, everything. It's like, yeah, you were right. It's like,
Yeah, they say I think they said, well, you got the blue pill and the red pill.
yeah.
I don't even know how this came up, to be honest. I just kept hearing people kept talking about it all the time.
Yeah,
They say, the blue pill is like, you know, where you kind of live like in the cloud, kind of. You kind of
yeah,
don't know what's going on. And the red pill, you see things for what it is, you know. And some people kind of take that thing too far. Sometimes they go in the
yeah.
big towel, and I'm like, you should have been going your own way a long time ago, bro. Why you gotta be
That's
a part of a? Why you have to be a part of a? I don't mean, it's not even a movement. It's more of a
hope, man.
philosophy that they have, really. You
Yeah.
know, why do you have to say you a MGTOW? Why do you have to say it? Why can't you just say, hey, this is my philosophy and I'm sticking with it?
Yeah. I don't know. I always thought that stuff was nah, that stuff's corny.
I mean, like some of these guys be like, yo, I'm MGTOW for life. I don't want to deal with women. I'm like, so what we gonna get a prostitute? What?
Yeah. Their whole thing is it's all against women, like nothing to do with like you don't need a woman, just go and do this and do that. I'm like, man, they take it too far, man. Too
I'm
far.
not doing that.
Me neither.
Look, at some point, we live in this world. We're around people. If you live in a city, you're around more people than versus being in a small town. But at some point, you're gonna have to interact with some person, even if you live out in the boondocks.
Mm-hmm.
So it's just best, it's in your best interest as a man and a woman to just get better at your social skills. Just,
Yeah.
just become the best person that you can. That is, I mean, otherwise it's like you're always gonna be behind the eight ball, so to
Yeah.
speak. You know?
Yeah, I mean, all that you can eliminate that. Also just being having a better judge of character. You know what I'm saying? Like that alone of itself eliminates all pretty much of what they're saying about don't let women do this, don't let women. You know what I'm saying? It's just like just be a better judge of character. She's not gonna take your money. You know what I mean? You're not gonna let her take advantage of you. So
Yeah.
you
Yeah, the
know,
signs. Now there's some women that are real good at manipulating guys. I must say. I've met some of them. But even the best ones, they cannot fake it but so long. At some point,
yeah,
she's going to show you who she is. Now, it might go over your head. You might miss the sign. That happens. It happened. It happened to me. It happens to the best of us. Sometimes we miss the sign. Sometimes people say things and we just let it go over our head. You're like, oh, okay, whatever that
mm,
meant. But see, that might have been your sign, but you let it
that's
go over
true.
your head. You let you didn't say anything about it. You didn't say, hey, what do you mean when you say that? You know. So you know, nobody's. I haven't met anybody that was like bulletproof.
Mm, no,
That
no,
can't be figured out, man. Come on, man. You know,
no,
if you ask the right questions and let people talk, they're gonna tell you who they are
every
over
time.
over over a short amount of time or a length of time or depending on how much time you spend around them. They're gonna tell you who they are. And if
Mm-hmm.
people tell you who they are, believe them. You know?
Yeah. Nah, most definitely. And that's right though. You meet someone, you just let them talk, watch their body language, and you don't really even have to say that much. Like you said, it's gonna come out. You know what I'm saying? The true colors eventually are gonna come out over time. I mean, that's a given. It's just how long it takes you to realize that. That's the thing. You know what I'm saying? They could be throwing you signs of how they really are all the time, and you're just not picking up. You want to be able to pick up those facts as quick as possible so you don't get taken advantage of.
Exactly.
So that's I mean that philosophy to me though, like I mean I feel like I've been doing that like my whole life, man. Like I being a judge of character, like of course, we all have our flaws and stuff, but I've been pretty on top of that, man. I can tell when a woman's trying to take advantage and not being truthful or in it for what I have, and you know what I mean. To me, it's not that hard to be a good judge of character. You know what I mean. I feel like people sort of show their true colors.
Yeah, I mean you
You
got a
know.
lot of well, I think a lot of times you got a lot of fast talkers, a lot of city slickers out here. So I think
Mm,
that really confuses a lot of people and throws them off. But
that's
even
true.
still then, that's a sign right there. If a person has to talk too much, if they're fast talking, that's a red flag right there.
Yep. Yeah.
less less is more. If you know what you're talking about, you don't gotta ramble about anything. You're gonna just get to the point, say what it is, and that's it. That's like if somebody asks you, "Hey, what do you work at?" "Oh, I work at Bank of America, and I'm a bank teller, and I work from 9 to 5, and blah 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 blah. And I work on this side of town." They're like, "Yo, I didn't ask you all that. I asked where you work at." You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, a lot of people do that. They feel like they have something to prove. You know what I'm saying? And a lot of times when people do all that fast talking, a lot of that stuff is not true that they're saying. Their mind is racing. You know what I'm saying? Because like you said, you ask somebody something, they give you a direct answer. Like you know what I'm saying? I take that to be true. But when someone starts racing all over with all these extra things that I didn't ask for, I'm like, it's a
You
little
know
too
that.
extra.
You know that's a red flag.
Yeah, yeah.
But a lot of time we kind of let things slide. We like, oh, no big deal. Especially if she's attractive.
Oh,
Oh boy,
that's a whole different game.
boy, if the woman's attractive, boy, these dudes let a lot of shit slide. Man,
Oh
you
yeah.
know.
No holds back shot game.
I mean that. But if the girl's a 6'5", she can't get away. Or if she overweight, she can't get away with shit. Boy, them dudes be on top of them, boy. Let's keep it 100, man. If she a 5 or 6, she can't get away with nothing. Or if she overweight, she can't get away with nothing, bro. Dudes be on them, boy.
She bad though, sharp game. Oh man.
Boy, but she's a 8 or 9. Oh boy, them
Oh
dudes, boy, let them get away with murder, man.
sharp game. She an 8 or a 9. Oh baby, you didn't come home last night? You said you just slept at your girls? Oh no, I just wonder if you all right. I just had breakfast waiting. Now she a 4 or 5. Where the fuck you been? I've been waiting. Oh man, get your shit. We done.
Yeah. I'm like, come on, man. The chick stayed out all night, bro. And he told her she was at her friend's house. Well, these women ain't close like that unless they got some hanky panky going on. They women ain't. When these women are not that close. Like if they say they friends, associates, or
Hmm.
whatever, she ain't staying at her friend's house, bro. Unless they got something going on between them.
That's facts,
But
man. Ain't
other
no
than
slumber
that,
party.
these
Pillow
women,
fight.
these women ain't that close. They ain't close like that. Not at all. I've known I know a bunch of women that say, hey, that's my girl, that's my peoples or whatever. And I'll be like, hey, why don't you stay over here tonight? You had a couple drinks. Oh no, I'm going home. You know
Yeah.
what I'm saying? So they ain't that close like that.
What
Only,
is
you know.
this, man?
So if a woman tells a guy, oh, I slept over my girlfriend's house last night. I had a couple of drinks. I'm like, yeah. She might have stayed had a couple of drinks, but something else going on. She at somebody else's house.
Yeah, I don't be playing. I don't play that nonsense, man. But yo, you hit it right there, man. When you said that, like they'd be like, "Oh, that's my peoples, that's my friends." You say, "Oh, why don't you go with them?" Yo, the same thing. They'll be like, "That's my girl, that's my people," and then the next day, they'll be talking shit about them. You know what I'm saying? So girls is not close like that. Most girls do not get along. They always talking shit. Even when I dated girls, they're like, "Yeah, this is my best friend," and then next minute, like, "Oh man, she be out here doing all this other kind of crazy stuff," and I'm like, "Yo." But that's your friend, that's your people. So it's crazy. So what, like point is women is not that close like that.
Yeah, not at all, man. you know, and like, I remember when I was growing up, um, you know, I have older brothers. My brothers, they're like late 50s, right?
Okay.
So I used to see them in their like relationships, and I used to see older people around my parents' age at the time, going through their struggles with their relationships or whatever. But I'm young. I ain't really know. I knew I saw some things I saw, but I was like, I guess that's their business. I don't know. Oh, whatever. I'm like 13, 14 at the time.
Oh,
So
okay.
I'm like, you know, I guess that's how it is sometimes or whatever. And as I got older, you know, I realized, man, that there's a lot that happens between amongst friends and relationships and family and everything, and it's nothing perfect. There's no perfect family. There's no perfect friendship. There's no perfect relationship. There's no perfect marriage. You know, but the problem is with a lot of people, women have this fantasy in their mind. It's like the horse and carriage type.
Yeah. Yep.
And guys see women the way they want to. They see women the way they want to see them because I don't know why, to be honest. You know, maybe somebody told them something, or maybe they saw something growing up, or maybe they. Now I know guys, us, everybody. We want, assuming you had a good relationship with your mom. We
Mm-hmm.
we automatically want a woman with some of the same um, maybe characteristics or some of the
Mm-hmm.
same habits of our mom. You know, that automatically
Yeah.
happens, assuming you had a good relationship with your mom. You
Mm-hmm.
know, I'm not saying anything wrong with that, but I just realized at a certain point, I'm probably not gonna find somebody that's just like my mom.
Right.
You know,
Right.
that's I never approached it like that. I said, hey, you know, if it happens, it happens. But I wrote down on the list, this is what I like. You know,
Yep.
I mean, of course, I'm not going to find all of that. That's not.
No.
I mean, that wasn't the purpose
Yeah.
of making the
Never.
list. The making a list was just to have a reference in my mind of what I like. What I
Mm.
mean, what turns me on. What you know, what what sticks out. You
Yeah.
know,
What you're gonna accept?
huh?
What you're going to accept from a woman? You know what I mean? As
Exactly,
well.
and that's what it's all about. It's about what you can tolerate more so than anything else. You know,
Yeah.
because you know they always say one man's trash is the next man's treasure, and
True.
that's true. That's true because I've seen it happen. I've seen one woman, one guy say, "Hey, this chick, she's trash, yo. She's horrible. You can have her, right?" And a couple months later, she got with another guy, and he's saying, "Man, I'm happy I met her, bro." I'm like, "Really? Yeah, man." She's like, and they still together to this day. They get
And
along. So I like, okay. So I figured out that okay, he can tolerate what the other guy couldn't. That's
mm,
all it is. You know what I'm saying? So I'm like, oh, okay. You know, that's how this whole relationship thing is. It's basically um, it's kind of like being at a job.
mm,
Certain people, most people at work, let's just keep it 100. They don't like each other.
no, not
They
at all.
don't.
Not at all.
They just there. They tolerate each other. The majority of these people, they tolerate you because maybe you bring the company in a lot of money, or maybe they don't have nobody else to take your spot, or
Mm,
maybe they just got to make their quota. It is what it is, you know.
mm.
So relationships is it has some of the same aspects of being in a work environment. You know what I mean?
Yeah, and the other thing too, as far as being in a relationship and making it work, see, it also depends on the compatibility because see that same girl, if she wasn't feeling that dude, you know what I'm saying? She's not gonna give him his all. She's gonna give him, you know what I mean? A half-ass relationship, not really being there, not the support system. Now, the same girl that said, same guy that said she's trash, she gets the other guy, and you know what I mean, she's feeling him. You know what I'm saying? She's feeling him, his program or whatever. So then, you know, he turns out like, yeah, she's a good girl. The other dude's like, what? She's trash. Because at the end of the day, they were more compatible together. And I feel like that's one of the big things in today's society, that people are just with people that they're not compatible with.
Oh yeah, yeah,
You know?
yeah. Most women, man, I think most women settle.
Yeah.
Most women settle, man,
Mm-hmm.
because a lot of women look at it like, hey, I'm on the clock. You know, I want to at least have an opportunity to have a baby one day, and you know all the stuff that
Yep.
they think about. So it's kind of like most women don't really get with the guy that they really wanted to be with. You know, and a lot of women, let's just keep it 100, they didn't get picked in the beginning because a lot of these women were unfit. They're unfit to be married. Most of these women today, even the ones that are married, they should have never got married. They're
Exactly.
unfit. They're unfit to be married. But they find some sucker that was willing to that was willing to accept them with all that baggage that they got, and somehow they got married, and now they divorced.
It's crazy, man. It's crazy the way society, how
And
society.
see now, if you ask them, hey, what happened? Well, why'd you get a divorce? They got everything points away from them. The
Mm-hmm.
majority, 90%. If you listen to them, 90% of what they say points away from them. But what she's not going to tell you, she's not going to be honest and tell you, she never really, this guy was never first. He was second, third on the list, or he wasn't even on her radar. And I have heard women say this shit.
Yeah,
He wasn't even on my radar. And they say that shit
it's
like this
nothing.
sounds good. That's like a slap in the face, yo. That ain't no damn compliment. Come
And
on.
you know, the other thing too, Sharp Game, when it comes to that too, as far as women settling and whatnot. See, women once they start getting in their mid 30s, and they, you know, they've had like a couple kids and things like that, they're ready to settle. That's when they want to become submissive. At that point in the life, in the beginning, they don't want to listen to reason. You know what I'm saying? But
Yeah,
in the 30s, they're ready to settle and do whatever, because now they want the,
you
you know,
can't see a lot of them take the wrong approach. Most of them they still in the club.
yeah,
You can't you
yeah,
stay in the club all throughout all your 20s, and then when you're 30, okay, I'm ready to get married now. What? You're not you're unfit to be married. You're still in the club. Just because you don't go in the club or you don't go as much as you used to, that doesn't make you that doesn't mean you're ready to settle down and get married and have a family. No. If you
hmm
wanna if you wanna if you wanna be a wife, you have to become a wife. You can't wake
exactly.
up one morning and be like, I'm ready to shut this down now. I'm getting married in 2 years. I'm on my countdown. No, it doesn't work like that.
Shark Game. These girls think if they cook you a meal that they're wifey material. That's what they. That's like today. You know what I mean? She's like, look, I'm a good wifey. I'm cook. That, you know what I'm saying? When that's what they feel like. You know, one of the key fact, like the main aspect of being a what. You know what I'm saying? So it's just the roles and the way women think and people think today is just, it's
and
crazy.
and you would think, look, if you're a man or a woman, and if you're going through life, you're 30, 35, 40, 50, 60,
Mm. Damn.
and then you'd be like, get to a point, something should sound off in your mind. Man, this thing is not going the way I want it to. So something should say, hey, maybe it's what I'm doing. It's not you, it's what you're doing. It's not working sometimes.
Mm.
Now, you could be a good guy, good girl, good character, good morals, values. If that's the case, it's what you're doing that's not working. Maybe it's something
100%.
that maybe you have a broken spirit. Maybe your spirit ain't right. Maybe it's what you're saying. You know, I mean, we can
Mm.
only control what happens in our little world. Now, what happens in the White House? We can't control laws and public policy. That's some other shit.
Nah,
You know, I mean, we can get involved in some of that, no doubt about it. You can get involved in stuff that happens in your city, in your town. But I'm not talking about that. I'm talking about in our little world, our social world that we live in. If you can't keep a woman, I'm gonna give you a good example.
all right.
If you're a woman, when it's time for you to move, you can't. You gotta pay guys to help you move. Look, something has happened.
Yeah.
Something ain't right. You know, if you gotta pay a guy to get married to you, so you can get a green card, so you won't have to go back to Japan. Something has happened. Something ain't right. You
No.
know, if you should not have to pay a guy to get married to you for a green card, if you're a woman, I'm sorry.
It happens all the time, man.
I
It's
know
true.
it's hard. I know women that came over here. They were illegal. They were illegal, and they just found the guy. They found a guy that wanted to be with them, and they got married to the guy and lived happily ever after. And she got the green card eventually, and they got a family, and they're good to go. But if you
Mm.
got to pay a guy to be with you because you're
No.
so horrible, something ain't right.
Yeah,
There's
no,
something
that's
that's not
ridiculous.
right, about that. I mean, if you can't find a guy to do you a favor when something happens, maybe you need to ride to the airport. This is before Uber. This is before Uber.
All
If you
right.
can't find a guy, Uber ain't everywhere either. It's not everywhere you go in America.
No.
Well, let's just say you need a ride to the airport, and it's your flight is 6 o'clock. Taxis don't run at 6 o'clock in your town, right? So
Mm.
now no Uber, no taxi. So you don't want to leave your car at the airport in the parking lot because maybe it's too much for you to pay. Maybe it's $30, $40 a day. You don't want to do that. Okay,
Mm.
so now you're thinking, well, who I'm going to call to take me to the airport? You're calling people. Everybody says, nah, can't do it. Can't do it. So you mean to tell me you've been in this town for 5, 10 years and you can't find one guy to take you to the airport? Come on, man.
Shows your character, man. It shows your character right there.
Something ain't right. You
That's
got
crazy.
these guys that ain't got no character. They'll find a woman to take them to the store,
There's a corner store right down the
corner
street.
store, spur of the moment. He just said he talked that talk, and then she'd be like, okay, yeah.
I'll be right there.
So you know, I mean, a lot of people have a hard time with this concept. I'm like, look, something. If I look at a woman, she's fairly attractive. Maybe she's a 7 or whatever, and I be like, you got no boyfriend, not a man in sight. Like what? No kids, never been married. You got a decent paying job. She got a car, got an apartment. Like what's wrong? I
Mm.
mean, everybody just come in and smash and leave.
Yeah,
If that's the case, something has happened.
that has to be the reason. I mean, because what else could it be? You know what I mean? She has no one by her side, no one she can call. But yet, dudes is just coming by, but no one's staying. That's how you can tell the mind state of a woman too, especially like the older women that are like by themselves and single in their like late 40s, 45s and no kids. That you could tell there's a reason for that. There's a reason why guys weren't choosing for that.
Exactly. So
You know.
there's a lot of women out here. they think they're the shit. They think
Mm.
they're hot, but they're not. But they don't have nothing to back that their claims up. So I'm like, what are you talking about? I mean, like most guys I know, they're not like that. Most guys know they say I ain't shit. They'll be like, look, if you want somebody, if you're looking for somebody to get in a relationship long term, hey, that ain't me. I'm gonna tell you right now. Most guys are I know a bunch of guys all over the
Mm-hmm.
world at this point. Most guys, they don't sit around thinking like how nice they are, you know, looking in the mirror. And there's some guys like that, but that ain't the majority. Most guys, if whatever they don't have, whatever they haven't conquered, they say 9 times out of 10 it's because it's my fault. You know,
Mm.
I mean, there's some guys, of course, they blame their parents, but those guys are very few guys that do that. Most
Yeah.
guys know who they are. They're not perpetrating the fraud. They're not they're not walking around saying, "Hey, I should be doing this and doing that." But you know, why me? No. But
Can't be
I
like
never
that.
heard a woman say she's no good. You have you? I've never heard a woman say that.
No girls ever told me that shit.
Exactly. I've heard guys say that all the time.
I mean, you
But
feel like that, but for them, no.
exactly. Every time most women always say, "Hey, the guys are not quality guys. That's why I don't have a boyfriend."
Oh, no, Shotgun. There's no good guys anymore. There's no good brothers
Yeah.
out there
Oh,
anymore.
that's the big one.
Yeah.
There's no qualified guys. They're unfit. They're in
Mm-hmm.
prison. They're in prison. I'll be like, no, that's not why you're single. No, even if the pickings were slim, like if you live in a small town, the pickings are slim in small towns, and
Mm-hmm.
even women in small towns that are not married still have guys. So
Yeah.
what's your excuse?
Exactly.
If you say who you claim to be, the guys are gonna find you.
Exactly. No questions asked. But a lot of the time, you know what I mean. Most of the time, they're not who they say they are, which is why they're in the position that they're in. You know.
Exactly. You know. So until you, all of us, men and women, until we know who we are, we find out who we are, and until we see things for the way it is and not the way we want it to be, nothing is going to change. You're going
Nope.
to always have to start all over again.
Mm-hmm.
That's
You're
the
right, man.
that's the lesson that I learned a long time ago.
Yeah. If you don't love the person in the mirror, man, you can't love anybody else. You know. It all starts with
Exactly.
you.
Exactly. Let's see what we got in the chat.
What are they
John,
talking about?
what up, John? Let's see. Cosmic Warrior in the house. Uh, let's see. What up, Brandon? Brandon Carr. It's been a while since I've seen him. 8 or better. Can't do no wrong. 6 and below. Check her from the head to toe. This is America. You got that right.
Damn right, yo.
What? Uh, not too much. Not too much going on in the chat today.
No,
So
this
hey
ain't too
guys,
much.
check out my Patreon, man, and follow me on Instagram. And what else? Oh yeah, check out my brand new site, the badboysecretsclub.com. The badboysecretsclub.com. I haven't officially launched yet, but probably another week before I do an official launch of the
Mm.
site. You know. But yeah,
Yeah.
go check it out over there, man. If you really wanna take your game and your life really to the next level, Go check my brand new site out. And any last words, man?
Nah, man, not much. Just you know what I'm saying. Check out the new site, definitely. You know what I mean. Go over there. I mean, this is game for y'all, man. You know what I'm saying. So definitely take advantage of it.
All right. So until next time, we out. Peace.
Peace.